Welcome to the first part of the pullback strategy, the pullback trading strategy. It's let me just dive right into it. This is the German DAX, which is an indices, an index in the European German stock market. Just to clarify right from the beginning, this is just something I'm using for this video. If you are a forex trader or a commodity trader or whatever, you prefer, you can use all kinds of markets. I always say it doesn't really matter what you trade, as long as you know the certain characteristics of a certain market, then you're good. But again, it's make sure you have strategy in place, and that's what this video is about. This is the daily chart, as you can see. So I'm gonna go back a little bit here. What I always want to do, doesn't matter what strategy you use, even if you're a day trader, you always gotta have a view on what is going on, where the market is at overall. So in this case, I would obviously, well, in this case, I would put it like now with the information that's on here right now. Earlier markets, I would have draw the line like this, but now that we know price behaved like this, wait a minute, can I get it on here? This would be a trend line for me. And another trend line would be something around here up until this level. So let's extend that for a bit. Yeah, this is the channel where price is moving in. So we have a bullish market. That's something you want to know. And this is the field this is our playing field for this strategy. Now you can do this in a couple of ways. Of course, if you see a bullish phase like this and then finally a pullback, you didn't know what the pullback was from a trend line perspective, but this pullback corresponds with this previously support area. So there are different ways to find some clear entry pattern, but for now let's assume you never jump a moving market. So let's assume this was the first real pullback. Quite obvious, you got in, you had a great wave, then another pullback came, you had another great wave, and a pullback came. Okay, well, we understand that. It's always easy to see that from a clear chart like this. This is the daily. So, it's not that hard to be trading this. But what happens if we zoom in? Because we wanna this video and this strategy is about taking on trades at levels that are occurring at the moment. So wait a minute, where did we draw that channel? We did that over here. Okay, so this was the beginning of this move, and this is the 4-hour chart. But we can do the same thing on a 4-hour chart. No rocket science here. Okay, so this was the first wave up. Then we broke the structure, retested the trend line, came back down, and we went for a correction, obviously. And then we came down here, and again we had ourselves a move to the upside. It broke, and it was kind of, a less deep pullback. We didn't really go to that trend line, so from the daily perspective, you didn't have anything to do here. But when you look at this previous resistance and supports over here, it does make sense that price stalled over there. And then finally we did the same thing. When we put a trend line within this area over here, obviously we had ourselves another move. So there are just some waves, and we also have the correction. So if you want to trade it to the downside, I'm good with that. But that's it. Then we zoom in one more time. We go to the hourly chart. Price doesn't really help us in this because it tends to put us in the area where, okay, here we are again. Tends to go to the area where price is at the moment. But let's go back for now. Stubborn traders, we go back and back and back. Okay, well, this was the beginning, so this is the hourly chart. So go with me in this thought process. This was a wave up. This was obviously a resistance area, and support was initially formed over here. Then we had another push, and then we had this consolidating market. So from a perspective where you are looking for entries, and you identify, of course, those levels you need to identify. So in this case, we had this gap. Price tried to fill the gap, never happened, and then we started moving lower. In the future, there was the shift. This was the moment we were turning to the upside. So and when we saw this, we were waiting for a pullback, and pullback happened just up until this support. So this is the first level that has any meaning. Then for a couple of times the market seemed to find support over here. Then we started rallying and we seemed to find support again around this area. Actually, I think I would prefer to do it like this, because it's more like the resistance became support kind of way. Okay, then again we have ourselves this became a little bit more choppy with some fake outs, and okay, that's it. So this is just a trending phase. Overall, we know now that from the daily that the market was bullish. So we are forming new breakouts, breaking by breaking resistance levels, then going back to test those resistance levels, and when they turn out to be support, we keep on pushing and we keep on moving to the upside. Now here's the thing. Once we've identified these levels, and it's always easier to identify them in hindsight, when you know you already have the data. Of course, that's really true. But then again, you know, we had this correction. We know that we are at the bottom. We then have this first move, and then the market opens with a huge gap, and we start to see that price is picking up, and we are starting to see some momentum. Okay, we're trading here. We had the first pullback, and then we see a continuation pattern because this starts to trend in that direction. Okay. Well, resistance, support, level identified, and we can continue. Same thing here, resistance turning support, and again level identified. Then we have this top pattern over here where we are in the same way, resistance turning support. So we again, this is actually, I don't know exactly the day this started, but let's assume it's a Monday. So we have this is the first day of the week. We have a range. This is the second day, third day, fourth day, and then market shifts around. So almost for a week, this is just a trending market on the hourly time frame, which is pretty small time frame. And you know, we see this move. We know that market is turning around, and the thing you do is really sit on your hands and wait. So what's the potential to get out of these moves? So let's go back for a minute to the first waves we were analyzing. Okay, so we had this first pullback, which is kind of more like the first confirmation that this is shifted around, and now we are forming new moves. So to be honest, I don't think this first move is the move you would be getting in. Let's be honest. So let's see what happens on the you know, once you break this resistance, you know now, okay, the market is really trending, and we are making these pullbacks. This first pullback, or maybe this one, would be something because you know that resistance got broken, you know that it's retested and it's holding, so you know now, okay, we have ourselves a level to be taking trades from. So every pullback that occurs, like this one, I always draw it like this. I put in these small levels over here where price is coming into, and that is the level to be taking on those trades. Here, same thing. Okay, so this is actually what I'm looking for. When I'm on my when I'm not up behind my computer, I always set alerts using TradingView, but most of the time I use my app, and that's the investing.com app where I set my alerts. So in this case, I know, okay, the market's going up, and I only want to trade with the trend. So as soon as the price in this case comes to the 10, let's say 8:30, I want to be notified. Okay. There are a couple of things you can do here. You can put in an order because you know already that this is probably, you know, gonna happen. I'm not a fan, too big a fan of orders. Why? Because, you know, this is from an order perspective. Now it looks great, but you never know what's going to happen when price comes back into that level. If it breaks, then the order gets stopped out, or maybe you get a deeper pullback. Just like here, let's assume that you traded this to the short side. This would have been a little bit of unnecessary loss. So I prefer the price notifications. Later on in this video series, I will explain you when we zoom into the 5-minute or 50-minute chart how to pinpoint those entries for a even better result. So keep that in mind. But for now, this is the pullback strategy. Again, I know that price is able to reach these levels, so that would be my take profit target. Now here you're thinking, yeah, but when I get into this trade over here, I could have stayed in a trade for 2 or 3 times as long. True, different strategy, different idea. In this strategy, the way I use it, this is really what I do. I enter the trade at the short side, and then I will take it on the top of the previous resistance. Yeah, let me just keep it for this for a minute. I'll check back to you in the second part of the video where I'll explain even more on how to pinpoint and to keep utilizing these pullbacks. So see you in the next one.